Sister Laila live. Sister Laila live. Weekly for the show at the hour. At Sister Laila live. Sister Laila invite your friends and family. Make it cozy at Sister Laila.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Listen, we are in dire need of donations to keep these shows running and available for you 24/7. So that means when you're in the car, it's available for you to listen to. Whether you're at work, streaming, playing a game, it's available for you to listen to. Rowing your deed and learning about the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful different topics of Islam. Listen, one of the heaviest deeds that could be placed on your scale on the Day of Judgment is Sadaqah Jariyah. Yes, I know I'm trying to build deeds daily. So you can too. So listen, feel free and please, from the bottom of your heart, donate to this wonderful cause, wonderful website and platform to continually push out shows that will benefit you and the Muslim Ummah. Yes, you can donate by going to the Sunnahfollowers.net website, pressing the donate tab. You can also scan the QR code in YouTube on the far left top of our videos that are streaming. Listen, guys, this is very important, and take this as important. We want to keep this programming available for you 24/7 so that you have access in your car, anywhere you choose to tune in to this wonderful programming. Yes, guys, it's all at your disposal. So listen, feel free to donate. Once again, remember, Sadaqah Jariyah, one of the heaviest deeds on your scale on the Day of Judgment.
Welcome to a new way. He has put you on a new journey. Hold close to him and follow what he says. Sent the final prophet Muhammad to mankind a mercy.
Colin.
And by the way, what do you get in the fear today? Let's talk about it.
Any other questions?
This is gonna be good.
Welcome to Ask Sister Laila Live.
And by the way, what do you get in the fear today? Let's talk about it.
Wait a minute.
Time for the Ask Sister Laila live show.
This is
Lines
gonna
are
be
now
good.
open. 862-370-2838.
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulallah. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Ask Sister Laila live show. And alhamdulillah, this is our show where as once a week, every Friday, you can join and ask your questions live about Islam. And inshallah, I'll give you an answer. And if there's a question that I can't answer, which there usually is, there is no fret. I have Sheikh, my teacher, Abu Atayib, is on standby to help out with any questions. And also, as you all know, we have Dr. Ibrahim Jamali, who's usually around as well. So, there's different ways that you can get your question answered. All you have to do is if you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, if you are on Rumble, if you are on X, if you are on Twitch, all you have to do is just type your question on the screen in the chat area, and inshallah, I should be able to see your question. And some of you may want to join and ask your question live. Well, you can always go to www.sunnahfollowers.net. You can click on, I'm going to type it and put it here. You can click on join Zoom room, join Zoom, and come into our Zoom room and use the mic, or you can simply use the chat box. And by the way, there is a chat box there. If you use that chat box, it goes directly to my WhatsApp. I got a WhatsApp group that's here. If you want to be anonymous or whatnot, just type your question right there in the chat box at www.sunnahfollowers.net, and it'll open up what app on your phone, and it'll put the question right there to me. And I have my phone here so I can see it. And also you can also call us at what is the number? What's the number? 862. Okay, let me put that here. 862-370-2838. That's our phone lines too that you can call us at as well. In fact, let me pin that there. That's the phone number right there to Sunnahfollowers, where you can call in as well. So there's different ways you can get your questions answered. And by the way, if you guys do join our Zoom room, please don't try to private message me, because if you private message me, I am not going to see your questions, because even though looks like I'm looking at the people in Zoom, I'm looking at a camera in my streaming program. So I don't see anything that's going on there. However, I do have moderators. Sister Famay is there. She'll read with any question that you type. She'll get on the mic and read it to me. So just want to let you know that. But mashallah, yes, I didn't know that either. Did you guys know that if you go there to the Sunnahfollowers.net website and click on that chat button on your phone, and it'll say WhatsApp, or it'll open up the WhatsApp and it'll send the question right to me? Somebody try it. Let's see how it works. Can somebody use their phone and try that for me? Go to the www.sunnahfollowers.net, and just where the chat is, click on that and click send a message or a question or something, and see if it'll come right to me. I just noticed that it's on my phone. That's pretty cool. I didn't know I did that, but it's there. So you can do that. And again, if you want to use the mic, the Zoom room, you can go to the Sunnahfollowers.net and click on join the Zoom room and get on the mic there. So it's different ways you can get your questions asked, and inshallah, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And also, as we're waiting, and by the way, for those of you who have questions, you can start typing them now. Yes, go ahead, sisters. Oh, wait a minute. This is a Islamic community. Oh, mashallah, welcome. Okay, any questions you sisters have? Yes, you can type them. I can see you. You guys see I'm answering you. So you can just type them there and I'll answer them, inshallah. Okay, the sister here said, Sister Laila, my husband wanted me to let you know that your class at 6 today was very inspiring. Oh, mashallah. So he enjoyed my, yes. Yes, guys, these are some terrible times that we're going through. All of us as Muslims, we're watching the war that's playing out in front of us. And for those of you who are my age and older, this ain't the first war that we've witnessed and lived through. Like I said, I remember the war, Vietnam, when I was a kid. My uncle, I never forget that he had to go do. I remember I asked him, why do you have to go away? He said, I have to go in the army. And I never liked that. And I missed him. He never was the same when he came back. And then, subhanallah, I remember all the other wars, Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait. I mean, war is not a nice thing, but it comes from Allah. And I'm sorry, we have to accept that Allah can do whatever he wants to do. But we have to remember that he's in charge. And that's another one of the reasons why Allah sends war, because it's easy for us to forget about Allah and think that it's all in the power of man. Man has no power. We only have the power that Allah gives us. SubhanAllah. Yeah. So your husband liked my class. Yeah, she said that her husband said that that I was really speaking for him, because that's how he was feeling too. And she said that her husband said that so many of these brothers are talking about Oh, the Shiites this, oh, the Shiites that, when they're the corporates. Exactly. We can't get it twisted. You know, the Shiites were involved in everything. And since after the time of the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, after his death, they played a role in everything. Yeah, they got their bombs and they got their this, but we cannot ever forget that they're enemies. Okay? Anyone that curses the companions, anyone who has their own Quran, anyone who follows their own man-made hadiths, that ain't nobody to ever trust. Ever. Exactly. Is that somebody on the mic in there? Fame? Somebody want to say something?
Yeah, it was Sister Sabrina. I had to mute her.
Oh, yeah, just mute her. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So, yeah, I understand. Your husband said he felt the same thing I felt. Yeah, and he was glad I spoke out. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Somebody's got to speak out. Yeah. That's that emotionalism that we suffer with. You know, we become emotional in a bad way, not a good way, in a bad way. Yeah, we have to remind ourselves to try to maintain our dignity. Remember, as Muslims, we're supposed to be people of dignity, of balance. Okay, we're not supposed to be indignified and unbalanced. We have to put that emotions aside. And that's a reminder for me too, because I'm a woman. Women can get even more emotionally deranged than men, but it seems like the brothers got the women beat today. Exactly. Okay, do we have any questions in the Zoom room?
There's one here on YouTube, Sister Aya. Okay. On the day of judgment, will the people of the left hand be in hell forever, or are they amongst the ones who will be pulled out eventually?
Okay, on the day of judgment, as we talked about, we are the only nation of people that will be divided into three groups. Who are the three groups? The first group are the forerunners. Who were the forerunners? They were our 70,000 people who Allah has already determined that he's not going to hold them accountable for any of the bad things they've done. Why? Because they lived their lives doing so much good for his sake that he's already forgiven them. And the majority of those people will be the companions. As Allah says in the Quran, they will be from the majority of them will be from the early generation of Muslims, only a few from the later generations. Okay, so they will not be judged. They will just be told on the day of judgment to go stand and wait for the gates of paradise to open. And then the second group are the people of the right hand. Who are the people of the right hand? These were the Muslims who lived their lives in this world committing sins, but they believed in Allah, okay? And they did a lot of good deeds, and they earned the love of Allah to the point where Allah is not going to put them in hell either. They will have to be judged. What's the difference between the people of the right hand and the forerunners? The difference is the people of the right hand, they will be judged. And then after the Allah judges them, Allah will say, but even though you did all that, I still choose to forgive you. So go stand and wait. And then you have the people of the left hand. Who are the people of the left hand? These are the people that will have to do some time in hell. Will they be in hell forever? No, they will come out through the supplication of the Prophet Muhammad and others. So a lot of people say, does that hadith mean that no Muslims are going to hell? Nope. It means exactly what it says, that we will be in three categories. So The fourth category are the kafirs. You already know what a kafir is. Kafirs are going straight to hell. They will not pass go. They will not collect $200. They're going to be in hell forever. So you fall in the category of, like the prophet said, anyone who dies upon a sin of disbelief, or anyone who dies a disbeliever, they're going to be in hell. So we have to struggle to not die a disbeliever. And as Allah says, even though people say they believe in Allah, you'd be surprised how many people are kafir. There's a lot of Muslims who are going to be in hell forever. Forever. Because even though you said you were a Muslim, you really weren't. And as the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, every nation has its pagans, its fire worshipers. The fire worshipers, or the pagans of my nation, of people who call themselves Muslim, are those who don't accept the qadr of Allah. And there's a lot of Muslims, y'all can see how they acting. If you don't accept that Allah is the one who creates good and evil, if you don't accept the fact that nothing will happen unless Allah wills it, you're an unbeliever. So all the prayers you did, all the fasting you did are of no good. You're going to be dragged by your face and thrown in hell forever with the rest of the unbelievers. So that's the thing. No, there's going to be a lot of people in hell who call themselves Muslims. In reality, they weren't, because they didn't believe in Allah as they're supposed to. That's why the prophet said, fall back on your belief. We should be evaluating ourselves on a regular basis to make sure that I'm not a kafir. We don't have time to call other people kafir. That's what we see today. A lot of these brothers are on the internet calling each other non-believers. You better check yourself. Because if you one of those Muslims that think that the war came from man and not Allah, you got some issues. If you one of those Muslims that think that you can change your destiny, you got a problem. If you one of those Muslims that think that you can change the qadr of Allah, you got a problem. If you one of those Muslims who love something or someone more than Allah, you got a problem. If you one of those Muslims that die a drug addict or a drunkard or a fornicator, and you took those things as your God, you got a big problem. It's hard to get to paradise, guys. I want you guys to understand that there'll be more people in hell than paradise. There'll be more people in hell. We pray that we all make it to paradise, but it's not going to be a lot of us in there. Let's just get real. And the true believer doesn't want to spend not even a day in hell. So if you're that's another thing too. If you're one of those Muslims that's walking around saying, well, I'll just do my time in hell and Allah will eventually let me out, you just shown that you're not a believer. And let me talk about that for a minute, because I've heard a lot of Muslim women say that. If you're one of those women that say, well, yeah, I'm fornicating, yeah, I'm smoking weed, reefer, it's okay, I believe in Allah, long as I got that house, I'm coming out of hell, then that you've just now testified against yourself. You've just now testified that you don't believe in Allah, because the believer never, ever, ever takes Allah for granted. The believer, as the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, in order to be a believer, a true believer, you have to have three things. Number one, you have to have fear of Allah's punishment. Number two, love for Allah. And number three, you have to have hope. If you're lacking any one of them, You are not a believer. So if you're one of those Muslim women or men who commit sins and say, well, I'll just do a little while in hell, that means you have no fear of Allah. So that means you are not a believer. You're an unbeliever. Y'all get it? Oh, yeah. So most people, unfortunately, the reality is most people are going to be in hell. The believers, a few. May Allah make us all be amongst the believers. I mean, but, you know, it's going to be bad. Got to fear loss, people. If you don't have no fear of Allah, you ain't no believer. Just like if you don't have hope of Allah's mercy, you ain't no believer either. Just like if you don't love Allah, you're not a believer either. Just like the Christians. The Christians claim to believe in Allah and they don't. They have no fear of him. All the love in the world, but no fear. The Jews claim to be believers. They have all the hope in the world, but no love. No love for Allah, but they got all the hope. They're not believers. Okay, the example of disbelief due to arrogance is shaitan. What is arrogance? The Prophet Muhammad said that arrogance is to think that you are superior over all the rest of Allah's creation. To think that you don't make mistakes. To think that you're perfect. There's a lot of people out there. Look at a lot of these rap singers. Listen to how a lot of these look at P. Diddy. Let's talk about P. Diddy. He said that he was there. A lot of these rap singers think that they God. They think that they don't make mistakes, that they're above everybody. They the best thing on earth. That's disbelief. So you have to avoid thinking that you better than other people. Arrogance is to think that you are better than other people. The only people you should think you better than are the non-believers, because you are better than them. The fact that you believe in Allah makes you better than them. But to walk around thinking that you are better than all other Muslims, that you don't make no mistakes, that you are perfect, there's nobody can correct you, nobody can criticize you. That's disbelief. That means you've made yourself equal to Allah. Only Allah is perfection. Only Allah is perfection. So real easy. Y'all got to stop thinking that you're better than everybody. And there's a lot of Muslims that think they better. They think, oh, well, I'm Arab. Because I'm Arab, I'm better than everybody else. Who said that? Okay. Because I'm Pakistani, I'm better than everybody else. You're beneath me because you're black. That's another example. You're less than me because you're black in color. That's the type of arrogance that's going to land you a seat in hell. Sister Aya, I don't know what you mean about avoid. What the heck is avoidance? I ain't never heard of nothing like that. What do you mean disbelief and avoidance? There's no such thing as that. Arrogance, not avoidance. What do you mean avoidance? Break that down in plain, simple English. I ain't never heard nothing called, what do you mean? To avoid something means to stay away from something. So what are you asking me? To avoid means to stay away from something. So staying away from what? I probably was talking about avoiding prayer. I got to hear what the lecture is. I use plain, simple English words depending on what I'm talking about. So I don't know what the lecture is about. Avoid means to stay away from something. If you're staying away from obeying Allah, then you a kafir. You know, if you think that that you can't are exempt from obeying Allah, so I don't know. I don't know what lecture it is you're talking about. Yeah. And by the way, guys, I'm going to do the series of the sins of disbelief after we finish the series on the sacred bonds. Okay, so for those of you who want to learn about the different sins of disbelief, I'll teach that class again after we finish the book on marriage. When we finish the series on marriage, we'll speak about the sins of disbelief. Suicide is one. Arrogance is one. Okay, so we'll do that class over again after it's been a long time since I taught that class. I don't know what she's speaking about. Yeah. I have go ahead.
The question is, what can I do if I'm not where I want to be in my faith? I'm trying to do better, but still find myself falling into the same sin.
Do better. Do better. You have to try harder. Try harder. Put your priorities in order. And that's the problem with a lot of us today. We don't have our priorities in order. You know, be regular and be consistent in learning. Remember, everything begins with knowledge. And we Muslims today are not consistent. You know, you might come and listen to one of my lectures once a year. No, you have to come to all my classes every day. You have to be there every day, and you have to pay attention. You have to participate in the quizzes, okay? You have to be consistent in seeking knowledge of this religion, and you have to ask questions like Sister Aya's doing so you can better understand what's being said. And you have to surround yourself with strong, practicing Muslims. You got to let go of those Muslims that are not practicing this religion. You have to let go of those Muslims that are half-stepping. You have to also check your environment. You have to surround yourself, you know, with righteous environments too. If you got the same sin that you keep falling into, then stay away from what brings you to that sin. Why are you still doing it? Why do you still keep beating yourself with the same thing? Remember, what is insanity? Insanity is to continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. Why are you doing it over and over again? Okay, why are you in that environment? Remember, guys, Allah tells us in the Quran that He will never change the condition of a person until a person takes the steps to change the condition of himself. So, what steps have you taken to not keep doing the same sin over and over? For example, a person smokes cigarettes. You got to stop smoking. Throw the cigarettes away and then stay away from people who smoke. Don't hang around with people who smoke no more. Don't go to those type of environments, okay? And you have to make dua, asking Allah to keep you strong, to keep you from falling into that. So what steps have you taken to change yourself? If you're doing the same thing over and over again, that means you ain't changed. You haven't done anything to change yourself. You just say, I'm going to stop doing it, but you ain't made no effort to stop. You have to make the effort, guys. The companions, they made the effort. They actually stopped. When Allah sent down the command saying that alcohol was haram, they poured it out immediately. And they didn't make it no more. And they stopped going around people who drank. And they made dua saying, oh Allah, keep me from alcohol. Are you doing that? Or are you still just living your life the same way you have been, but think, oh, well, I'm just weak? No. Paradise. The road to paradise is hard. Anything good comes hard, guys. We got to work for it. So if you sincere and not doing the same sins over and over again, it's going to show. You're going to make the effort to change yourself. And then Allah will meet you the rest of the way. But he ain't going to do nothing if you don't make the right steps. Change your environment, change your friends, change your way of living. And Allah knows best. Yeah. Next questions, go ahead. Yeah, Islam is real. Exactly, Sister Amy. Islam is not just a religion, it's a way of life. We got to work at it, guys. All of us, myself included. We have to make the effort to stop. Exactly. The effort to stop. Yeah. Any questions, other questions in there?
Yeah. The next question is, are we supposed to fear the jinn? And if not, what can a person do to rid themselves of this kind of fear?
You don't fear the jinn. No, we don't fear them. That's what the jinn wants you to do. They only bother people who fear them. The jinn don't bother nobody except those of you who are scared of them. How do you rid yourself of them? Just stop fearing them. Say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Ask Allah to protect you from that. Ask Allah to take away any fears of anything other than Him. We don't fear nothing or no one except Allah. Every time your personal jinn, when he looks in your heart and see that you are scared, fearing him, he's going to laugh. And he's going to call the other jinn to come to you. He's going to say, hey, party over here. This human being is so stupid that he fears me. And I'm going to tell you why they was call you stupid. Because the jinn are stupid. There's only one word, like the prophet told one of the companions. If you say one word, your jinn and any other jinn around you will run away. All you have to do is say, Allah, and they run away. That's how weak the jinn are. They're so weak. You mention the name of Allah, and any jinn that's around you is going to pack his bag and get up and leave. Okay? So why are you sitting around scared of a jinn? The jinn are part of the unseen world too. That means you can't even see them. So why are you fearing something that you can't even see? The jinn are weak. They're stupid. They're not as intelligent as us. They're faster than us, stronger than us, but they're slow mentally. And they're weak spiritually. So why are you fearing them? The jinn, even Shaitan himself used to run from Umar. If Shaitan saw Umar coming, he'd book up passing gas. You know, because he knew Umar didn't fear him. They only harm people who fear them. So stop thinking about the jinn. And what you need to do is think about the angels. Because the jinns don't come nowhere near an angel. Instead of you being concerned with the jinn, understand that the angels are the friends of the believers. The angels, they will surround you. As long as your home is clean, if you keep your house clean, there's no dogs in your house. There's no pictures of you and your family hanging up on the wall and on display. And there's no music playing in your house. You got the Quran playing or my lectures playing. The angels of mercy will come in your house and they will surround you. They will walk with you. They'll make dua for you, and no jinn on this planet will come near you. So instead of worrying about the jinn, what we need to do as Muslims is worry about the angels. Try to surround yourself with the angels of mercy. And then you don't have to ever worry about a jinn, except your personal jinn. And you can learn to control him. And Allah knows best. Now, that's the problem with us today. We're weak. We fear man. We fear jinn. We fear everything except the law. Can't nothing hurt you or harm you unless Allah wills it. Try to live your life, earning Allah's love, and then you won't care about no jinn or anything else. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Any other questions? Go ahead. Okay, hold on. Let me see. You guys didn't try it? Nobody tried the chat thing for me on their phone? I'm telling you, click on that chat thing and type something that comes right to this little, to my Sunnahfollowers.
It's in there, Sister Laila. It's 2 of them. It went to Wix.
Oh, I got it on my Wix on the phone didn't open up. But you got it, right?
Yeah, I see 2 of them.
Oh, okay. That was me from yesterday. That was yesterday. That's not today. Nobody else tried it. The one that says, I got a question. Is that what yours said? That was me from yesterday testing it. Nobody.
No, one says salam and the other one says, can women travel? So
oh, really? Well, why don't you read the question to me? So they going to you. Then you need to read the questions to me.
No, it just when you just did that, when you just told them to try it, that's when I'm assuming it was just the people you just told to try.
What?
You don't say who it's from.
It don't matter.
It just says visitor.
Okay.
It just says visitor 61.
Okay. When they get it, it's evidently since you look, it's going to you. You got it. You're gonna have to read it to me.
Oh, somebody just laughed.
Because I didn't get it. Because evidently it ain't coming to me. So I got to fix my phone. Something wrong with my phone. I'll fix it. Go ahead.
Okay. So you got 2 of them from visitor 6194 says salam. Visitor.
You ain't got to name the names. Just give me the question.
Can a woman travel? And then the other person just laughed.
Can a woman travel? A woman cannot travel without a mahram. And what does that mean? That means if you're going I don't know what you mean by traveling. Can I go to the grocery store? Yes. Can I go visit my family that live down the street? Yes. But if a woman is going to be traveling out the state or out the country, you're going to need a mahram to take you to the airport and someone to pick you up from the airport. You got it? And so if you're traveling, like say in America, you're going from New York to Los Angeles, you have to have a mahram take you to the airport, and then have somebody pick you up when you get to LA. If you're going to Hajj, you can't go on Hajj at all unless you have a mahram, because a mahram is a condition. Okay. So any questions they send on chat, you're going to have to read it, because I thought I set my phone up. I guess I didn't, because I didn't
get it. You have one here on YouTube. When I'm feeding a baby, do I say Bismillah for them before they eat?
Okay, you can say that if you like to. Yes, it's always good to mention Allah's name. But is Allah going to throw you in hell because you did not say Bismillah before a baby nursed? No. The religion is easy. It's not oppressive. And Allah knows best. It's good for us to remember Allah, but do you have to say that when you're nursing a baby? No. Yeah. Yeah, I thought I had fixed that thing on my phone. I guess I didn't. See, that shows it. I think on my phone I have to set it, whereas I don't know what I did wrong. I'm good at computers and all of that, but I can't do nothing with a phone, y'all. Now you tell me how I can work computers, but I don't know nothing about a phone. That's sad.
The next question is, I have a sister here asked, that her husband don't pray, he smokes, he sells drugs. Her family telling her she can't leave him because she struggled with the kids she have with him. So she just wants some advice on what to do.
She needs to leave him. She said he doesn't pray.
Yeah, and did other
She
stuff.
should leave him. Who is your family ain't God. I know a believing woman ain't gonna be with no hypocritical acting man. He's supposed to be your leader. He's supposed to lead you. How can he lead you in life and your children when he has no fear of Allah? I mean, I want you sisters to ask the question, do you think Aisha, radiallahu anha, would have been with a man who didn't pray and smoke cigarettes? Would Atika have married a man who didn't pray, didn't smoke cigarettes? Would any of the Kanza, would any of the female companions be with a man? Would Hani marry a man who didn't pray and smoke cigarettes? You know, that's an example that shows where your faith is. If he's that bad, you need to kick him to the curb. Whatever we give up for the sake of Allah, Allah will send us better. So I wouldn't be with no man like that. I'd go get on welfare and get some subsidized housing before I stay with a man that smokes some cigarettes and don't pray. If I had 10 kids, I'd go apply for welfare and I'd apply for subsidized housing and I'd get myself away from such a degenerate. And I'd make dua asking Allah to send me a righteous something better. As Salama did when her husband, who was righteous, died. Okay? Yeah, so your family's wrong. We don't listen to our family if our family is telling us something that contradicts what Allah says. Nobody overrules Allah, and Allah knows best.
The next question is, what about the women who went to Hajj without a mahram? Is their Hajj accepted?
This is what I always tell you, sisters. What's the purpose of making Hajj? The purpose of making Hajj is to be forgiven for all your past sins. What did the Prophet say about major sins? What did the Prophet say about deliberately, intentionally disobeying Allah? So for these women who made Hajj and they were told that they can't make it without a mahram, what makes you think that Allah is going to forgive you for your past sins when you are already showing him that you don't have fear of him by making Hajj, disobeying him? Real simple answer. How do you think Allah is going to forgive you when you look at him in the face saying, I have already defied you? That's no different than a woman that doesn't wear hijab. She says, well, I don't wear hijab, but I'm going to go make Hajj. And I'm going to take my hijab off when I get through circumambulating the Kaaba. Do you think Allah accepted her Hajj? Yeah, you sisters, we have to obey Allah. We don't pick and choose what parts of the religion. We have to, what does the word Islam mean? Islam means total submission to Allah. What does the word Muslim mean? A Muslim is a person who submits himself totally to Allah. That means I'm accepting everything Allah says. I don't pick and choose. First of all, for you sisters who made Hajj without a mahram, Hajj was not even a requirement for you. In order for it to be a requirement, you have to meet the conditions. Number one, you have to be able to afford it. Number two, if you are female, you have to have a mahram. Those are the two conditions for Hajj. So what were you making it for when you didn't even qualify for it? You just did your own thing and were knuckleheaded about it, and you think Allah is going to forgive you when you looked him in the eye and said, I made it without a mahram, even though you said I needed one. That's the sign of arrogance. Somebody asked about arrogance. See how arrogant man is? That's how arrogant we are. We're going to make up our own rules, our own laws, do our things our own way instead of submitting to what Allah said. So there you go. There's your answer. Yeah. Yes, if you don't qualify for Hajj, then don't worry about it. Allah doesn't hold us accountable for what we can't do. You know, when you dead and gone, that's a debt that your family can pay for you. Your children can make Hajj for you when you dead and gone. Your husband can make Hajj for you when you're dead and gone. Your grandkids. But you didn't meet the criteria. Allah's not going to even hold you accountable for that. So why would you sisters be knuckleheads? And by the way, that's another reason why there's going to be more women in hell than men, because of their arrogance. The Prophet ﷺ said one of the reasons why there'll be more women in hell than men is because women are arrogant. They will know the truth and still disrespect it. Still do things their own way. So knucklehead, we got to pay the price. Knuckleheads. That's women. Okay. So what advice do I give them? Ask Allah to forgive them. You repent. Allah forgives all sins, including shirk, if you repent before you die. So for those women that disobeyed Allah and made Hajj without a mahram, ask Allah to forgive you for being a knucklehead and keep it moving. That's all. Just keep it moving. Ask Allah to forgive you for not taking him serious. That's all. And he will forgive you if you're sincere. Exactly.
The next question is, how old does my mahram have to be in order for me to travel outside the country?
It's not about how old, it's how manly. Is your mahram able to kick somebody's butt if he has to? That's how old. It ain't about age. Because what is the purpose of the mahram? The mahram is your protector. If you fall, he pick you up. If somebody tries to rape you, he fights them off. If somebody tries to rob you, he chases them down. So your mahram is a person that's, of course, he's got to be over puberty. Somebody way over puberty that can defend you, that can kick some behind for you if he need to. Also, he can get on the phone and call for help if you need help. If he need to get some money wired from a bank to your bank, he can do that. So it's not about age, it's about maturity. So he's got to be puberty, of course, and way over puberty. He has to be someone that can do what a man has to do, because men are the protectors over women. My grandson, I got a grandson that's, well, I don't have one now. My grandson that was 18 could have been my mahram. He ain't with us no more. But can my 12-year-old grandson be my mahram? No, he's a little boy. I can't even pull him out the candy store. So no, my 12-year-old grandson can't be no mahram to me. I can't pull him out of the candy store. So it's about that, guys, protecting. And like I said, if you sisters don't meet the criteria for Hajj, don't worry about it. Okay? Because Allah ain't holding you accountable for that. Hajj is a hardship. The greatest jihad that any woman will ever experience is Hajj. You need a man. Because when you make Hajj, the men are going to treat you like dirt. They're going to kick you. They're going to punch you. They're going to spit on you. They're going to put you at the back of the line. When you go to get your money transferred into dollars, if you a woman, because they treat women badly over there, they're going to make you stand in the back of the line if you a female. And if you a black woman, you got to stand way, way back. They're racist too. So you need a man that's going to speak up for you, that's going to put his body over yours when other men kick you, that's going to throw his body over you when they spit on you because they're making tawaf and you're so close up on them and they want you to get back. So they're going to punch you like this. Oh, they do that. You're going to need a man to cover you like my ex had to do to me when they started punching me. So Hajj ain't no field trip. Hajj is a struggle. So if you sisters don't meet the criteria, y'all need to sit down. Okay, because it's hard. And every woman I know that made Hajj without a mahram, they wish they had them. Oh yeah, Allah is going to teach you a lesson. He always do when we disobey him. All right, next question.
Okay, the next question is, what if you and your husband have the means to make Hajj, but you need the money for something else, like a new car for the family?
Again, Hajj is for the rich. As the Prophet Muhammad said, Hajj is for the rich, not the poor. Okay? If you and your husband do not meet the criteria, then Allah doesn't hold you accountable. Nowhere does Allah say you put your family at risk and go make Hajj. Hajj is for the rich, not the poor. If you can't afford it, then don't worry about it. Does everybody understand that? Why would you go make Hajj and then come back and you ain't got a home because you ain't got a car to get to work? Why would you go make Hajj and come back home and put your wife in jeopardy because she's got to catch the bus and expose herself to rape to go get groceries or Uber and might get abducted? That's not, you don't meet the criteria. If you don't meet the criteria for Hajj, then why are you people trying to make Hajj? Hajj is for the rich, not the poor. That's why it's the last pillar. That's why it's the last pillar of Islam. It ain't the first, it ain't the second, it ain't the third, and it ain't the fourth. It's the last pillar for a reason. Because some people will never get to make Hajj in their lifetime. Do you guys know that there are a lot of Muslims that live in Saudi Arabia who have never, ever, ever made Hajj? So y'all got to get out of this delusional way of thinking. This is another reason why Allah has sent this war to us. Our priorities are messed up. We want to walk before we crawl. We're willing to throw away this for something that wasn't even obligatory upon us yet. We Muslims have to get it together, man. Hajj is the last pillar, not the first. And Allah knows best. Yes, for the people who meet the criteria, the answer is different. For those people that are able to afford it and they do meet the criterion and they putting it off because of, oh, well, I'll wait till I get older. Those people, the answer is different. But for the poor people and the women that don't have no mahram, you don't meet the criteria. Don't worry about it. Keep it moving. And just make sure that it's in your will, that your family know, your Muslim family know that that's a debt they have to pay for you. And they can pay it for you. They can make Hajj for you later on, inshallah. But Allah is not going to hold you to it because Allah knows you would have made it. By the way, you get the intentions even though you've never made it. Allah knows his creation. Allah knows that you would have made Hajj had you had the money, had you had the mahram. He'll reward you for the Hajj anyway. So that's why I tell the women, why do y'all disobey Allah when he would have rewarded you had you obeyed him? And now you think he's going to forgive you of your sins because you deliberately disobeyed him? It don't work that way. If you don't meet the criteria, Allah gives you the reward based on the fact that he knows your intentions would have been to make it had you met the criteria. Allah is more merciful than anything, guys. We have to remember that. And Allah knows best. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, Hajj ain't no pretty experience. No, I made it. I just have to tell y'all, it's the worst experience of my life. I see exactly why Aisha, radiallahu anha, said what she said. The greatest jihad for any woman is Hajj. I'll never get those bathrooms out of my mind. Never. Exactly. You won't either. Oh, you made it back then too. Yeah, girl. I heard they got toilets now. When I made Hajj, they didn't have no toilets. It was a hole in the ground with Kotex and tampons and all kind of nasty things. Ooh, it was horrible. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Yes, the religion is easy. Okay, the new Shahada here said she didn't know that. Yes, that she thought that we just had to make it. Yes, if you don't meet the criteria, don't worry about it. Allah is not going to oppress anybody and tell you, you know how much it costs to make Hajj? You got 10 grand? You got $10,000. Girl, Allah ain't going to make you sell your house, your car, your clothes, and everything you got just to go make Hajj. No, you don't meet the criteria. Yeah. That's right. It's the last pillar. We have to focus on our aqidah, learning this religion the correct way. That's the problem. Most Muslims don't know the basics. We have to first of all begin with learning about Allah, learning that Allah is the one in control, that Allah is the creator of all things, that nothing happens unless Allah wills it, including making Hajj. By the way, guys, this is also something to think about with Hajj. When Allah calls you to Hajj, did y'all know that? If it's time for you to make Hajj, Allah will summon you. Allah is the one that summons us to Hajj. And when he summons you, he gives you the means to get to him. Okay? So that's another thing about Hajj. If it's time for you to go, you will be summoned. Nothing happens unless Allah wills it. If Allah wills for you to make Hajj, you'll make it. He'll give you the means, the money, the mahram, the ability, all of that. But if he don't will it, it ain't gonna happen. Exactly. Alhamdulillah. The sister here said, Layla, you make it sound so simple and easy. Well, alhamdulillah, I hope so. I try to make it easy for you guys. I got a lot of new shahadas here. A lot of new shahadas. And I do try to make it simple for you guys because I know how hard some people do make this ding, especially with all that Arabic terminology. It just messes you up. I don't want you sisters and brothers selling everything you got to go make Hajj when you don't meet the criteria yet. And you're getting rewarded for your intentions anyway. Yeah. And by the way, Sister Asa, he sells drugs. I just realized this. You know, this is one of the problems. What family member will tell you to stay with a man that, number one, does not pray, number two, smokes weed, number three, sells drugs? Why would you be with a criminal like that? This man's a criminal. Remember, guys, as Muslims, Allah tells us in the Quran, we're not supposed to sit in the company of those who commit sin. Subhanallah, how could you give yourself as a woman to a man who's a criminal, selling drugs? Look how many lives he's taken. Do you guys know what the punishment is for being found guilty of a dope dealer in Muslim countries? It's the death penalty. Why? Because the drugs you sell kill people. Look at all the lives this person's taken. So we don't listen to our family members when it comes to stuff like that. This woman needs to leave this man ASAP because he's an endangerment for her children. If he's doing all that, selling drugs and doing drugs, what if the police come busting down her door and shoot, and they start shooting her kids? And remember, Black lives don't matter here in America. Let's just keep it real. This is a Black person, I'm pretty sure. Black lives don't matter. They'll just bust your door down and start shooting. And what if her kids get shot in the process? She's going to have to answer to Allah. Allah's going to ask you, why did you stay in a marriage like that? Why did you stay in a situation like that that was detrimental for you, detrimental for the children? When it's your job as a mother, the mother is the one that's supposed to protect the children. So she better leave him. Tell her to go downtown and apply for welfare and ask for subsidized housing. Subsidized is not necessarily project. They got a lot of subsidized houses now in nice areas, nice suburban areas that is based on your income. So tell that sister that she needs to leave him and take her kids and go downtown and apply for welfare and ask them for subsidized housing. Tell them that she doesn't want to live in no projects. She wants subsidized housing through the Urban League. Oh yeah, I worked in this field. Through the Urban League. Because they got some nice apartments in the nice suburbs. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Based on your income. So it ain't no projects. Get out of that situation. It's detrimental for your children. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? And
Sister Laila,
yeah,
I have a
go ahead.
question.
Yes, go ahead.
This one I'm asking it for my cousin. Could she work at a store, like at her job, touching alcohol, like fixing the shelves, or like if someone buys it, like she can scan it? Can she do that?
No. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, we cannot carry it, we cannot sell it, we cannot give it away. So no, tell her if she's gonna be working a store, she cannot be a cash register for alcohol or any of that, or pork either, for alcohol nor pork. Because we cannot, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, we cannot even carry it. And that was the source, Bukhari and Muslim. So tell her to get a job somewhere else in a different store that doesn't sell alcohol. Yeah, Allah knows best.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, baby. Yeah, we have to be careful with that, guys. Yeah, we can't ring it up, none of that. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's for the edible stuff. When I teach that, when I teach the class on the lawful and the unlawful, I usually tell you guys, one of the ways you can tell is one of the ways you can tell is if it's edible, we can't even touch it or carry it. Exactly. Everybody got that? Exactly, Sister Pamela. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And what family people will tell you to stay with a man that sells drugs? You know, the police come banging on your door and you going down. They'll shoot you too. Mm-hmm. I've seen it in real life. I'll never forget. Years ago, you know, I got stories. Latifah, remember back in the 80s? Oh, yeah, I was an 80s girl. I remember I lived in some apartment when I first got divorced from my first husband. I divorced him. I moved in a not nice area to get on my feet. And I remember the police came to my neighbor's door, bammed it over, had this thing. They rammed it open and started shooting. I was screaming, oh my God, you know. The person wasn't in there, but they shot in the house. And then they came out and they looked at me and I said, and they said, oh man, they put their guns down for me though, guys. They didn't come in my house shooting. They put their guns, said, ma'am, calm down, calm down. I said, they said, no, ma'am. They said, we just want to check your house right quick. They were nice to me. Came in my apartment, went through the apartment and walked out. And then when they left, my neighbor was standing there. I said, why did they shoot in your house? She said, look at your color and look at mine. She said, you look like a hunky. She said, you look like a hunky. So that's why they didn't shoot you at your house. I'll never forget that. Tiva, you remember that? I was scared to death. But they put the gun, that shows America's a racist country. See, I didn't have a hijab on too. So, because I remember that you just heard the banging. So I went to the door open. You know, I had my long hair. Well, I guess I did like a little hunky. But they went in that lady's house shooting, and she had kids. They didn't shoot nobody, but shooting. And then they came, they saw me, I went, oh, and they said, ma'am, calm down. They were so nice, calm down. They were the SWAT team, Cleveland police. It was the Cleveland SWAT team. They put their guns down and were so nice to me. They said, can we just search your house? I said, but you stop. I was having an anxiety attack. I was pointing. And then when they left, I looked at I said, what? She said, look at you. You look like a hunky. That's why they didn't shoot you at your house. I moved. the next month. Mm-hmm. Sure did. That was back in the 80s. I was young. I was in my 20s. Scared the heck out of me. I said, oh, yeah, Black lives don't matter. Yeah, America's racist. Girl, they were nice. Calm down. I was having an attack. I was going, oh. Latifah came and got me, y'all. I called Latifah, my best friend, Latifah and Aisha. Latifah came and got me. And I moved out of there the next month. Yeah, any other questions? Any other questions? Yes, and by the way, I'm glad you guys are asking about this because as I was telling you guys, starting this Tuesday, Brother Muhammad Ziada, remember Brother Muhammad Ziada? He's a police officer. He's Muslim, Palestinian. He's Palestinian and he's the police officer. Yeah, y'all remember him. He'll be back on Tuesday. He's going to speak about issues for the children. And he's going to be here every Tuesday. And his series will focus around the youth. Let me show you guys the commercial Brother Muhammad Ziada. Yeah, he's going to be every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's show you all the commercial right quick.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brother and sister. I just saw Brother Muhammad here in Salat al-Jum'ah, alhamdulillah. It's an honor to speak on a very important topic. I just discussed with Brother Muhammad, and Brother Muhammad is going to speak with you, inshallah.
Inshallah.
For the Tuesday, inshallah.
Tuesday, inshallah, we're going to discuss raising our Islamic Muslim children in a non-Islamic world that we're living in right now. The society that we live in. Especially now. Now we have a lot of issues happening in our schools, in our colleges, universities, that a lot of our Muslim kids aren't really ready for. So I think we should have a nice little discussion. Inshallah, we'll have a lot of people on board that can ask a lot of questions that they have. And we can kind of talk about how to kind of keep our deen and our religion inside of our children while they're going through out there in the world with the non-Muslims that are around there, inshallah, that, you know, have a lot of pressure that they're put on them, peer pressure and all that kind of stuff, inshallah.
So Sunnahfollowers, prepare yourself and even your kids and share this very, very important topic. Very important. Alhamdulillah, Brother Muhammad accept to join us every Tuesday, inshallah. 9 o'clock p.m. So it's for the time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair, Brother Muhammad, inshallah.
I'm so proud of that. I made that video, guys. Y'all like that? The swoosh. Well, Jamali made the video. I put the swoosh, the Sunnahfollowers swoosh on there. Y'all like that swoosh? You see that, Pamela? Did you like the swoosh? Yeah, so that's what he's going to be talking about, how to raise the kids, you know, in a non-Muslim in society, because there's so many laws that have changed. You guys know that because school has started. Our children are being forced to accept that it's the norm to be LGBTQ. We got a problem with the drugs because they've legalized drugs in some places. It's like some crazy stuff going on. So inshallah, Brother Muhammad Ziada, you know, our Palestinian police officer, he looked all buffed up there, didn't he? Hey, Mina, did y'all see how buffed up he done got? I wonder how many people he done took down. But anyway, he's here, he's back, and he's going to be lecturing every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You want to make sure you guys put that video out, share it on your YouTube channel, share it on your Facebook, your TikTok, because we want he'll be able to answer questions, being that he's a law enforcement officer. He is a law enforcement officer. He can answer questions and everything else. So, mashallah. Exactly, Brother Tajri. Exactly. And they put the Bible scriptures in their books too. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Subhanallah. Yeah, so raising kids, like Sister Yuen said, raising kids in this day and time is crazy. The stories I can tell from my 10-year-old is wild. Oh, yeah, girl. You know they pregnant. Oh, yes. I used to work as a substitute teacher, and every time I substituted for elementary school, and my 5th graders, I always had at least 2 or 3 girls who were pregnant. Oh, yeah, 10 years old. I always had at least 2 or 3 who were pregnant in the 5th grade. I was just talking about that with someone today. Yeah, the kids know all about drugs. They know all about sex and this LGBTQ stuff. It's about being bi. Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of my grandkids. Oh, yeah. One of my little bad grandkids told me, he said, Mom, you know, they teaching us that you should be bi. I said, what do you mean bi? That's what they teaching in school. He said, but I ain't gonna be no bi or no Y or none of that. I said, that's right. They want you to be bi both ways. It's sickening. So this class is this having Officer Ziada here is great because he works with the law enforcement agency, and he can give us tips on how to deal with this stuff. Inshallah. Yeah, that's going to be every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, I'm going to close out because, mashallah, this was a lot of good questions y'all had today. But before I close out, let me remind everybody, Dr. Asim sent me a text message. His class tomorrow is at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and he's going to be speaking about cleanliness in Islam. He's going to talk about how before Islam, the people that lived in the world before Islam, they weren't clean. They would go without taking baths. He's going to talk about that, and also how Islam not only taught us how to be clean with ourselves, you know, the pubic hair removal that we spoke about the other day and all of that, and taking a bath on a regular basis, combing our hair. He's going to also talk about even the food. Islam taught us how to, Allah teaches us in the Quran to eat from that which is good and clean. And a lot of the food that we're eating today is not clean. You know, the fish we eat is not clean even. So he's going to talk about all that. So make sure you guys are here for his lecture, his class tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also tomorrow we have Dr. Dramali. Oh, by the way, Fatma, are you here? Dr. Dramali said he's doing, wait a minute. All these brothers sent me their little texts today, and El Baqarah. Wait, hey, Fatma, Awaz.
I'm here.
He said Surah Baqarah verses 275 through 284. He's going to be focusing on those who declare war against Allah and his prophet. That's for everybody. But Dr. Dramali's class tomorrow, which will be at 9 p.m., he's going to be discussing Surah Baqarah, the second surah of the Quran, verses 275 to 284. So make sure you guys look that over. And make sure Nisa's here.
He has to read tomorrow.
Oh, somebody else.
I'm still having spasms.
Oh, God. Okay, we'll get somebody. Yeah. Don't worry. Fatma can handle it. Fatma, can you do the reading too?
Yeah.
Fatma, can you do the reading?
Yeah, I can do both.
Yeah, Fatma can do it. That's my girl. She can handle it. Okay, so that's him. And also, guys, just another word of a good thing. We brought back Brother Kutaiba. For those of you who've been with me for a long time, Brother Kutaiba was one of Dr. Dramali's students. He's now the imam of a masjid down there in Texas. And Kutaiba is rejoining us here at Sunnahfollowers. He'll be doing a lecture once a week too. And I'll put out the information or the day and the time and what his series will be about. So again, here at Sunnahfollowers, we're trying to keep you guys well-rounded. We know that there's a lot of stuff happening in the world today. So I'm trying to beef up the classes. We're focusing on Aqidah, Tawheed. And we're focusing on Quran. And we're focusing on how to handle the trials of life that's happening today by bringing in speakers like Brother Officer Ziada, and also bringing back Kutaiba. Okay, so please, guys, support this dawah effort, because it takes a lot of money to keep this stuff going, as you all know. It takes a lot of money to stream. It takes a lot of money to make these videos. And I'm so proud of that video. You know, it takes a lot of money to do this. So we need your financial support. And remember, guys, whatever blessings that Allah decides to give us here at Sunnahfollowers for our dawah effort, you will reap the reward too, because we wouldn't be able to do this without your financial support. So please donate. you know, and keep us on the air. All right, guys, I'm going to close out for tonight. Inshallah, I'll see everybody back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. with Dr. Asim. And don't forget, y'all got my class at 6. Okay? All right, so subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum. Everybody have a good night. Inshallah.